Troopers and grinders, welcome to Jersey. Hey, I'm fighting here. Hey, I'm reffing like a geriatric old man here. I don't understand, brother. I saw this guy getting hand job on the bridge. Who gave him? I see no goats, no training camp, just pork rolls being sold on street, brother. I can't believe this. I thought I saw bear, but was Pauly D on Jersey Shore. I would rather be in Gaza than these DC. Yes, Skate Tank Army, we are entering hell tomorrow. But for now, you have found refuge here in our quiet little podcast with me, Hank the Tank, and my compadre to my left. Ooh, the Idaho Skatesman. We're in Jersey. Hey, how you feeling, Idaho? Oh,
Well, I'm not feeling as Jersey as you are, but feeling
true.
good, man. It's been a week, but it feels like it's been years without MMA. So I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready for the card. I'm ready to see some fights. It's a good
Jesus,
weekend. It's a good weekend.
freaking hair. Got a haircut. I don't know if I should call it a haircut or just somebody who went at my entire scalp with a razor, but
Yeah, I need it. I need to get a haircut.
with a little, yeah, you do. It's the
Yeah.
reason for the bandana. It's to
Yes.
protect yourself. You look cool though. In the moment, you look cool. Just maybe not in the face, but try it on yourself. Anyway, yeah, we are live, motherfucker. Diaz Army in here. I'm not surprised, man. We're in Jersey. Diaz Army. Hey, we're in Stockton, and that's only like 1,000 miles away.
What's up, Raphael? Yeah, dude, the odds are pretty crazy. And we'll get into that, man. We'll talk
Hey,
a
might
little
make some
about
money. Might make some money.
we'll talk a
Just
little
bad.
about that, and we could actually go through that right now. So the main event, and we'll just quickly go over the main event, and then we'll kind of get a more in-depth breakdown of it. I don't know, dude. I'm not really like excited for it. I mean, I'm obviously excited that two, big time lightweights are fighting for a title, but I don't know, dude. Islam is in a weird spot in his career where he hasn't really had a signature win, and Dustin's
Against the
being
lightweight.
thrusted into the spot. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, you're 100% right, though. You are being a little hard on Islam, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's like Volkanovski is his signature win, the head kick, and then the one decision.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just I don't really care too much. Like I don't think Dustin has much of a chance, and I've been saying that for weeks and weeks.
Right.
But anytime it's Dustin Poirier fight week, it's a good week, man.
That's
What
fun.
about you? What are your thoughts on the main event?
So I got some conspiracy theories for y'all, and you might have heard some of this stuff online. But dude,
Staph infection?
I'm telling you, man, he's totally got staph. It's not like he's got some sort of scab or some other thing that he got during training camp that could have a bruise that's slowly healed over time. It's got to be staph, man. I mean, look at Paulo Costa. Coincidence? I think not. And the fact that Paulo Costa has staph must therefore mean that Islam has staph as well. It's the Paulo Costa curse. In this case, it's the condition of having staph. And just because he's been on the card, it immediately applies itself to the champ. It's spread right onto Islam.
Okay, so what are your actual thoughts on the main event?
Okay, so in real life, I think that Poirier's going to try to stand and bang. Islam isn't going to take that shit. If Dagestani promises that he's going to take you down, he's going to try to take you down. He did it to Volkanovski in the first round, and he's going to try it. And he's going to try it with Poirier in the first round as well. And I think he is going to get him down eventually. I don't think he's going to get him down right away. I think Poirier is going to do enough training that he'll get out of the first couple, and then come the third one or the fourth one, he's going to get him down. Do I think he's going to finish him in the first round? I don't think so. I don't think he will. I think that'll come around the second round.
Yeah, and like I said,
but I just think that he's not. Islam's too smart to
just in general though. Like, what is your thoughts on the booking?
It's just weird timing. It's really unfortunate.
That's kind of a weird thing with my hands, huh? Like,
yeah. Well, now you look like Dr. Evil, Scott. Come, Poppy, Scott, please. Please shift my testicles.
But yeah, the booking itself.
I just think that's unfortunate timing that they needed a nice co-main event, not even a co-main event for UFC 300.
Raphael's calling second round. All right, man.
And they put that's the same as me. But they put Gaethje in UFC 300. to surf is a great dream fight, and then he got knocked out. So that takes him off the list, and he should have been the guy to get the title shot against Islam. So you booked yourself into a corner. Dustin was available, and so I think it made sense at the time. You could have done Armin. But didn't Armin pull out? Didn't he say, I don't want to fight you on short notice away?
He did say that he was confirmed by him on Twitter, and Dana did say that he did offer him the title shot, and he turned it down.
So Armin's out of the mix. Charles Oliveira is coming off a loss, so that can't happen either. Nobody wants to see Gamrot versus Islam. Let's be real. And so Dustin Poirier made the tweet, "Oh, don't be silly, jump the gilly." You know, he's building himself up just like his hot sauce. And he's saying, "Come on, Islam, let's have a fight." And Islam agreed to it. He agreed to it on Twitter. And then what do you know? It gets made a couple days later. And so honestly, as I was seeing everything go down on social media, I was getting excited. Oh, there's a prospect of a fight between Poirier and Islam. And even though I know what the result's going to be, still going to be fun while it lasts, or the build-up's going to be fun. And then they made the fight, and I was excited. So I think a lot of people feel the same way. They know what's going to happen, but they're excited.
Yeah. Raphael, the fights will start in 11 hours, buddy. So, yeah. No, you know what? You bring up a lot of good stuff that I kind of not forgot, but just wasn't really present in my mind. And you know, Dustin is riding enough momentum to warrant this. But yeah, I mean, I've been saying they should tie one of Dustin's hands behind his back, or Islam. They should tie one of his hands behind his back, or shine a light in his eye the whole time. Just something. I've been saying a bunch of weird shit.
Add a stipulation, break both of Islam's legs, and see if he can still.
Okay. Like, if this was a kickboxing match, who wins? Like, I'm talking Glory Rules kickboxing match between Dustin and Islam. Who wins?
I think it depends on whether Islam wants to engage in the pocket or not.
Right. Yeah. Like, so this is what I'm saying is, it's like, I still don't go, oh, Dustin wins for sure in a kickboxing match, you know? A straight up boxing match, right? Like, probably Dustin wins, right? But like, we're talking about MMA here. So yeah, like, I just seen Dustin in just kind of seconding some of what Islam said in the press conference. Like, every time he faces like a high level, like, grappling heavy guy, or a guy with submissions, or, you know, grinding grappler type of guy, he always, in recent years, he seemed to lose. And it's so hard to look at this unbiasedly because he has that loss to Khabib. And I've been saying for years, like, Khabib retires and then he kind of clones himself in Islam. Yeah. Obviously, he doesn't actually have a cloning machine.
Over there in Eagle FC in Killcliff. This is what they used that $1 million for. That now he owes. It was to create the cryogenic chamber to put all of his
got you. Okay.
Grow into clones of himself. That's how the Dagestan.
Yeah, and it's weird. So it's like it sucks, right? Everyone, like, I started watching MMA because of Khabib. I love Khabib. I love everything he stands for, but it's boring. It's like, dude, we've had the same guy basically in there with like a similar career path, even, you know, and then he's fighting the same guys in his, you know what I'm saying? Like, besides Volkanovski, but so yeah. So we're gonna go over some picks for boxing. There's hey, what's up, Granite? Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Granite, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. I'm just a washed 26-year-old. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm washed.
He's Bob Dylan back in 1960.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for.
Out of his mind.
I
taught Raphael a nice lesson. He now knows what PEDs are.
Hell yeah.
He learned something.
Yeah. Good to see you, Granite, my man. And looking forward to doing another Pro Box stream with you, man. That was fun last time. So we're gonna go over some picks. Speaking of that, we're gonna go over the picks for boxing. There is a 5-on-5 Matchroom versus Queensbury
6-on-6
card. Oh, it's marketed as 5-on-5, yeah. But hey, what's up, hockey?
Hey, everybody's here. Let's go.
So we're gonna go over that, and I think it's weird that it's marketed like. Oh shit! It's my buddy Degenerate Dane, my man, my fucking good friend from Las Vegas, calling me a cat.
Man, the whole family's here.
No chill. Everybody's just popping in. We're getting raided by the City Life, our guys over there. And Grant Gregory showing up. Hell yeah, I love it. Love it. Love all the support. Thank you, Isha. So we're gonna go right into some boxing picks, some preview of the boxing card. I think it's weird that the fight poster is Eddie Hearn and fucking Frank Warren.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, how stupid is that?
Yeah. They're taking the spotlight for themselves. They love the media interviews. They want to make it about the battle of the promotions. It's like WWE Invasion, when instead of it being about WCW and WWE wrestlers, it was about Vince McMahon and his son. That was the main angle. They focused on the owners of the company, and it was just a bunch of goofy drama.
And I hate wrestling, but I used to watch as a kid. I remember when fucking Vince McMahon was fucking heavyweight champion for a time. So how weird. And then he died. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Denial. And good to see you, by the way. So we're gonna get into some picks. I don't really know a lot about some of the fighters until some of the top fights. So we'll get right into it. Willie Hutchin versus Craig Richards. So a lot of what I'm going to be talking about until the heavyweight fights is just what my man Jay Smooth, the Rush Hour Fight Club, suggested.
Learn from the best.
He's going Craig Richards. I'm going Craig Richards. Decision. It's for the WBC Silver Light Heavyweight title. Would you look at that? Just the most prestigious belt there is, right?
I know.
So yeah, Hank, what about you?
Hey, a silver medal can get you some good stuff on eBay. I think we're going to see Willie Hutchinson via round 6 KO. I think that Hutchinson has really fast hands, and I think he has more power than Richards' previous opponents. For me, Richards' weaknesses is fast counterpunchers, and Hutchinson, I think, has that in spades. He's going to catch Richards at several points in this fight, and I think his greater power and timing in his punches will make the difference. I don't think this fight is going to a decision. Richards is tough as nails, but not against this kind of power. And, even though I may sound like I'm completely contradicting Jay's opinion, I did watch some tape from both these guys' last couple of fights, and I just see a huge power difference. Even though Hutchinson is from, the UK, Western Hemisphere of Europe, and usually that can mean a soy boy who's going to get cracked and all that power is going to fade away. I'm just really impressed with how he fights and just how smooth he is and quick he is. And with the punches that he does throw, they land and they really crack his opponents. So I feel like he has a different kind of power. Richards also, I think, swings like a maniac. I think he has less technique than Hutchinson does. He leaves his chin wide open to get hit almost every 10 seconds. Okay. I don't think he'll be that much of a problem for Hutchinson. I think this kid is special.
Well, I appreciate you actually doing research for this because I did none. That is fucking hilarious. 2 UK bombs, but it sounds like you're actually excited for this fight, and it should be a good one.
I'm excited for all these. I'm forced to be.
Hey, cool breeze, brother. This is an open space here, man. Nobody's gonna cancel you. We got you, my man. All right.
Hey, anybody who's not the main event is bums. So confirmed.
Next one is Hamza Shiraz versus Austin Williams. Again, just going with my boy here, and I'm picking decision because I really just don't know what's gonna happen in the fight. To be totally honest, picking Williams, but again, don't know a lot about the fights. What about you, my friend?
I feel real bad for Jay here. If I'm right on both of these, I'm sorry, Jay, but I've turned to the dark side. I've picked Hamza Shiraz by round 2 KO. He has a bigger height and a bigger reach. You literally have to be backed up.
And Granite, sorry to interrupt you, but Granite knows his stuff when it comes to boxing. He says that Hamza is a assassin.
Yep.
So
he picks his shots very well, and when he does, they're very powerful. He finished his last opponent in the first round, and he was no slouch. And his timing, he looked like he was in the Matrix at some points. Like he was finding his angle for a punch from basically everywhere. And that is an assassin. That's like Sean O'Malley level of I'm hitting you for every which way whenever I want. He's this kind of fighter, and I think he's an emerging superstar. So you literally have to be backed up against a wall for Austin Williams to attack you. And Shiraz, I don't think is a punching bag. I think he's a fantastic counterpuncher. In fact, I think he's going to be the aggressor in this fight, and I think he's going to find Williams' chin for almost every punch that Williams throws. Shiraz's timing is superb, and the power and length of his strikes are unbelievable. He can catch you from anywhere. He does better against shorter guys with shorter reaches. So Eddie's basically feeding Williams to this man, I feel, to get pieced up as long as the fight lasts. I'm not discrediting Williams' timing or his ability, but just going by height difference and level of skill, I think this is a mismatch. And I don't think it's going to look good for Hearn's squad so far. Shiraz, I think, is going to catch him with something crazy and then put the lights out. I mean, this kid is just super duper powerful, and he's super tall. So I just feel like this is not a good stylistic matchup for Williams.
Yeah, some of the chat chiming in too, and
hey, Andrew knows
backing you. That's what's up, and this is making for a good show so far. So the next fight is Ray Ford versus Nick Ball. I did watch Nick Ball's last fight. I believe it was on a Saudi card. Or I could be getting that completely wrong. This is for the 126 WBA title, an actual title, like an actual, not a silver or intercontinental title. Ray Ford, I think he's had the belt for a little bit now. I saw Nick Ball's last fight, and he's a scrappy dude. But I think he even, though he won, it was like, it was a draw. Yeah, I thought he won pretty easily, but it ended up calling it a draw. I'm just, like I said, I haven't really seen a lot of Ray Ford's fights, but I am gonna go with Ray Ford here. What about you?
You got to open up that letter, Gene. Oh, well, what do you know? I picked the exact same guy that you did. With Ray Ford, I think he has the heart of a lion, and I think he can take a lot of punches and respond in equal measure. If he survives the early rounds against Ball, I think he's knocking him down. His digs to the body and counter shots to the head are usually money, and those are all of Ball's main weaknesses. Ball is a ball of fire, and he can throw good combinations when he needs to. He beat Ray Vargas with him. He did beat Ray Vargas, undefeated, undisputed champion. Ball. But he beat him, and there were crooked judges, and so he didn't win. Obviously, Idaho will take umbrage with what I have just said, and we're going to have to make a settling the score a few weeks later. But that's all good. That's a video idea. But
I literally just said I thought he won, but okay.
Oh, you did? Okay, then we're good. Then we don't have to make a video about it. I'm in fucking college. I don't need that extra shit. Anyway, Ford isn't taller to the point where it's going to be a problem, and I think he has shots that are going to put Ball on skates. Ball often he's going to put him on skates, and then he's going to leave him frozen like Elsa. Trust. Ball often leaves his chin open coming in and getting out, and that's what I do all the time. And that's when Ford is going to strike, and I think he's going to strike him bad. He's just more technical and precise with the shots, in my opinion, and often avoids the follow-up shots of shorter boxers. I think that Ford just has more potential to survive Ball's blows and counter him well for 12 rounds. God, it's fun saying sentences with Ball, and then
but is Ray built for tough?
I think he's built for the Ultimate Fighter.
All right.
And the damage to Ball won't look good on the scorecards.
So Breeze is saying this will be a good fight, like a scrappy one. I like it.
It is. Yeah, it's going to be back and forth. But I definitely think that Ford has enough grit that he's going to survive the initial clash by Ball in the early rounds. He's going to overcome the onslaught of Ball and eventually start finding the body shots and the head shots. I don't think he's going to finish Ball like you're thinking. We both think he's going to go to a decision. I think that's true. I think Ball's too tough for his own good. Steel balls. So,
Ball's a steel.
But I think that Ray Ford is still going to find better timing for his punches. And I think he's got just too much toughness to get put away by Ball. So I think he's eventually going to take apart his guard and his technique.
We move up the card to a very anticipated fight between Filip Hrgović and Daniel Dubois.
Fun.
I'm looking forward to this fight a lot. I've come around on Daniel Dubois, though he has been labeled like a quitter, all that. He's still a young cat. Hrgović seems like to be that next guy after like Usyk and Fury retire. He'll be a staple for a long time. Um, but I did watch his fight with Zhang, and I thought Zhang won that fight, but
Mm-hmm.
Perkovic is. I mean, both of these guys are great boxers. So I think that Daniel Dubois is getting disrespected a lot for a good reason. They did have a sparring match in which Daniel Dubois had to pull out of a fight because he got beat up so bad by Herkovic in sparring. Now, you can't take that exactly as that's what's going to happen in the fight, but I think that it's likely Herkovic gets a knockout in the later rounds.
Right.
Dubois does this thing where he takes a knee a lot. Um, but I'm giving Dubois some
It's a
credit here.
political thing. It's a political
I think
movement.
he's a live dog. I think he could win, but I am going to pick Filip Herkovic to get it done.
Nice. Well, let's take a look. Here we go. I have him by knockout. I think, like Ford, Herkovic takes a licking and he keeps on ticking.
See you, Andrew.
He's taller and he has a better reach. See you later, Andrew. Nice to see you. Great to see your comments, man. You always add a lot of energy to any stream that you attend. So thank you for your service, young man. Anyway, he's taller and he has a better reach than Dubois, who was initially having trouble against Jarrell freaking Miller. He's going to go to the body and the head of Dubois, and I think he's going to hit a bullseye every time. Dubois has dynamite power, but we've seen Herkovic survive power punchers before and give it right back. I mean, look at the Zhang fight where he got knocked down, all practically put away, and he still found a way to get back up to his feet and just outpointed the guy. I just feel like Herkovic is going to school Dubois on a technical level, and he's tough enough that any response won't be putting him out. I have Herkovic figuring out the puzzle of Dubois going into round 3 and just battering him for the next 3 until the referee has to stop it. Herkovic is too overwhelming a force, and I don't think that Dubois is going to be dynamite in this fight. I think he's going to be dino done.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this fight, though. This is one that I actually think that it should be co-main event above this fight, which was supposed to be Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev, the first undisputed champion at light heavyweight since 1985 when Leon Spinks won the title.
What a guy.
I mean, well, what can you say here? Bivol's going to get this done. There's basically no way Zinad wins. I don't even know who this guy is. But, whatever. I don't know. I don't even really have anything to say on this fight. Bivol by decision.
I agree. Yep, I got the exact same opinion as you. This fight shouldn't even be going to a decision, but boring-ass Bivol is going to find a way. Zinad leaves himself wide open to strikes and gets tit for every tat. Bivol is going to smother him, just like he does everybody he steps in the ring with. Frickin' Marab. Zinad will look bloody and battered by the time this fight's over, but still somehow not go down once. Easy layup, decision win for Bivol. This fight shouldn't have been made. Makes the card still 6-on-6, which is bad promotion. No one should be excited for this, and we're not going to see Bivol for another 6 months.
Our next fight, Deontay the Bronze Bomber.
Oh, yeah.
Wilder.
Bomb Squad!
A man whose name is in contention on how to pronounce, so we're just going to call him Zhang for the purposes of this show. So, we might spend some time on this one because, look, man, I have been called a Deontay Wilder fanboy by some of my good friends, granted, in the chat. I've been told that Deontay Wilder is my hero. I've never said that once in my life, but hey, those fights with Fury really did a number on him and Tyson Fury to that respect. But hey, man, whatever you want to say about Deontay Wilder, who got a lot of criticism for how he handled the second Tyson Fury loss, and that's how it goes in this game, dude. Everything you say, the fans cling to. But he made heavyweight exciting, man. No matter what you say about him, he made heavyweight exciting with that 3-fight, the trilogy with Fury. I think that he's had a spiritual awakening as of late. I mean,
You found
I don't
God.
know. Yeah, and I think that has taken away his killer instinct. This is like a make or break fight for him in his career, man. Because the last fight with Joseph Parker, he didn't do anything at all.
Hey, you could say
And
that about these guys.
yeah, they did both are coming off of a loss to Joseph Parker,
The
right?
GOAT, Joseph Parker. Like the GOAT
So
GM3.
he didn't do anything at all, and it just was a weird listless performance. Um, that is not true at all. Denial. I don't do that at all. I think that I mean, I literally just said that he had wars with Tyson Fury. He's had a spiritual awakening. I believe he's just like lost the killer instinct, and he's just at the late stage of his career. So it's just kind of hard to say he's at his best or to say he's going to have a great performance here. But I am riding with my guy Wilder all the way, except for on bets. I do have a bet on Zhang. So if Zhang wins, I win some money. If
You
Wilder
Benedict Arnold.
if Wilder wins, I lose some money, but my guy still wins. So let's
I mean,
go, Deontay. Let's
props
go
for keeping up
knockout.
the appearances. Props for keeping up the appearances.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go Wilder to this day. KO round 7. I think. Look, I have no idea how this fight's gonna go, but I honestly, what I really fear the most is we get a snooze fest and a staring match.
Yep.
But what say you, my friend?
Yeah, I don't have money on anything. I only have my big brain. And this big brain is saying that I think that Zhang's going to survive the onslaught of Deontay Wilder. I don't think Wilder's going to throw a punch that lands on Zhang's chin flush. I sort of want to say fuck Deontay Wilder. Everybody's so excited for the Bronze Bomber to lay out Joseph Parker, and then he does nothing for 12 whole rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I want my non-existent money back. Disgraceful performance, in my opinion. Will he look better against Zhang? I don't know, and I don't really care. Both these guys are washed after fighting Parker, but Zhang still has potential to look good in a fight, whereas I believe that Wilder has none anymore.
And I believe that Zhang is going to come in 38, or he weighed on the scale. He weighed 38 pounds heavier.
Yeah, this guy's 282 pounds coming into this fight, so he's going to lay on him like a sumo wrestler. Those are mixed rules, right? I'm sure that weight's going to have an advantage in some sport. I think that Parker can string his punches together and can land a knockout blow just throwing normally. Wilder needs to find the right hand. I just don't think he's going to against a boxer who keeps his head down, guard up, and always pressures. I know that Zhang is slow and plotty, but so have been a lot of Wilder's opponents who have shown out for a majority of the fight. And I think that Zhang knocks out Wilder before Wilder knocks out him. Given Wilder's late finish track record. So I think he's going to finish Wilder before the later rounds, I feel. I think the Big Bang's going to eviscerate the Bronze Bomber. I think it's going to be 3-2 Warren. Therefore, Warren will win the 5-on-5. Establish Soy UK as apparently the best boxing promotion in the world. Apparently. With
man.
Everything.
I'm really looking forward to this fight, but I think
I'm
probably
praying for a finish either way.
I think the more likely outcome will be. I mean, if you look at the CompuBox stats, these are two of the guys, like two of the top most, like two of the least volume strike. I'm fucking the sentence up. They throw the least amount of punches for top level boxers, like that are active today. So you might get a snooze fest. I think it'll go to some weird split decision. But again, gotta go with my guy. Gotta go with my guy Deontay Wilder, man. And I'm hoping for a win here. And yeah, I don't know, dude. I think both of these guys are probably pretty much done after this one. But you never know, man. You never know, because George Foreman got schooled by Ali, and he came back, and oldest heavyweight to win a title to this day. So yeah, that wraps up the boxing for the weekend. Do you have any other thoughts on the card or in general?
I predict that an asteroid is going to hit the arena and wipe out these two dinosaurs.
Well, hey, look, man. Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield. I say it every chance I get. The Fan Man fight. Yeah. So hey, you never know when some weird shit might happen, and
we'll see.
But Anyway, we're gonna go right into the UFC. Get right into some picks here. First fight of the night is Andre Lima versus a man named Mitch Raposo, who I believe is coming in on short notice. Andre Lima is the guy who got bit against Igor Severino in his last fight and immediately got a tattoo right here of the bite. So he didn't really get to I think he was winning that fight up until that point, and I even picked Igor to beat him. So I'm going Andre Lima here by decision. Don't have much to say. Mitch Raposo's coming on late notice, so could see an upset, but I don't think it's likely.
I'm picking Lima too, even though did you watch the weigh-in show for this pay-per-view? Lima came in 4 pounds overweight.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he didn't look happy about it either. And the entire pre-show assembly of commentary, the whole commentary team basically roasted him for 5 minutes. And then they went through a statistical breakdown of how short notice guys who are overweight do after their fights. And within the last year, it's been sort of a 50-50 split amongst guys that come in overweight. However, I think that Lima is still too fast and too skilled for Mitch Raposo, just based on watching both guys' last 2 fights. I think he has much more creative and smooth work on the feet than Raposo does. Again, like Austin Williams, it literally takes Raposo half a minute to throw shots, and only when his opponent's up against the cage. It takes Lima half a second to throw a shot, and he's not only quick but precise with his blows, and he's going to hurt Raposo a few times in this fight. Enough to get a finish? I highly doubt it, especially coming in overweight. And Raposo has a good enough chin that he won't get instantly put out, but I think that Lima's going to piece him up and outclass him. He's going to show up. He's going to show off the greater variety in his boxing and kickboxing. I know that Lawn Top got upset by some scrub in the next level fighting, but Raposo doesn't shoot takedowns, and on the feet he's just a walking zombie. Even though if anyone's the zombie, it's Lima after that bite of the night bonus. Give me Lima by dominant decision against the short notice rookie. And there's always the overweight factor. So again, now fate is outside of my hands, outside of my picks. Who the hell knows what's going to happen?
100%. We got our next fight, Jocelyn Edwards, the most anticipated fight of the card. Jocelyn Edwards versus Aline Perez.
Why isn't this on the main card? Why aren't these 2 ladies getting a bonus right out of the gate?
This would be the main event. I mean, let's be real.
300
for the BMF title.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm picking Jocelyn Edwards.
Ooh.
Not attached to it. Don't really know what's going to happen. The only real storyline that you can find in this fight is, I guess, that Aline Perez's male coach choked out Jocelyn Edwards in a training session or something like that. Going Jocelyn Edwards. Not married to it. Don't really have much analysis for you.
Hey, the only person that Idaho's married to is Cartman. So, back off, ladies. He's taken.
No, I'm not married to him. That would be illegal because he's a child. So,
I thought in Idaho that'd be
That's funny. Not a lot of cousin fuckers. This is not Dagestan, so
shut your fucking face, cousin fucker.
But yeah, luckily our guy Hank the Tank does his research, and he's gonna have a better breakdown for you guys.
In a rock paper scissors contest between Jocelyn Edwards, Lucie Pudilova, and Aylin Perez, Perez beats both Edwards and Pudilova in the grappling department.
He's playing some MMA math here.
Yes, exactly, at its finest, especially in a women's fight. Please let me have this. That's all this WMMA fight comes down to, really, and all 3 women have tried the exact same takedowns on one another, the exact same entry for their takedowns, and Perez has had better strength and technique in her takedowns. She'll slam Edwards on her ass and grind her way to a decision through winning at least 2 of the 3 rounds. Neither of these women are good boxers, so expect the snoozer to go all the way to the final bell and pray that a finish from either Hafez or Gall can snap us all awake again. God, the early prelims suck. It's just Perez has taken down the woman who took down Jocelyn Edwards. They tried the exact same technique, the exact same strategy and game plan, and Perez has beaten the lady who beat Edwards. So, that shows to me that her grappling skill level is above both women.
Well, I
And
don't know, man. Now you're
anyone's shooting,
kind of making me
it's
want
her.
to change my.
No, no, oh! I should have just said, oh, well, this will be, a split decision, and I just see it going Perez's way. Oh, I flipped a coin. Don't switch your bet.
All right. So our next fight is Mickey Gall versus Basil Hafez. So I just checked my picks a little bit,
Fucking unfair, man.
and literally
Kill me.
all of them are going to a decision. So I guess I got to pick some finishes.
Don't
I
let me
This
win.
fight is interesting because obviously Basil came in on short notice and gave JDM a hell of a fight that arguably he could have won. Gave him all he had, and it was pretty impressive. Kind of raised his stock, and that's why he's the favorite, a heavy favorite over Mickey Gall. I think that you either see Mickey Gall getting a sub or you see Basil getting a knockout. But honestly, we haven't seen too much of this guy. Maybe Hank has a little bit more insight on some of his other fights, but just quickly looking over it, in his last 5 here, looks like he's got some KO wins, split decision, submission. Mickey Gall, his last finish came by submission to Jordan Williams, who I believe is not in the UFC anymore. 2 years ago, lost to Mike Malott and Alex Morano. I guess I'm just sticking with Basil decision.
Granite. He's not JDM.
I guess I'm just picking Basil decision. I'm going to keep my pick there. But again, I think a submission is more likely for Gall, a knockout more likely for Basil. And I see it like ground and pound. You know what I'm saying? Like he hurts him. He's got him on the ground and he ground and pound finishes him. I'm still going to go Basil decision just to be safe because we haven't seen too much of him in the UFC.
Yep. I've got Basil Hafez for a 3rd round TKO. Basil Hafez has great takedowns. We all know this from watching his memorable performance against Jack Della Maddalena. And we've also seen Mickey Gall get taken down and beaten by ground and pound by Diego Sanchez, of all people. So it seems clear to me that Gall doesn't like grapplers. He's allergic to them. And Hafez is a very impressive grappler so far. So this should be a cakewalk, I think, for Hafez, in all honesty. Unless he gives Gall one too many minutes to crack him, I think it's going to be Hafez's world the whole fight. And I actually see Hafez doing enough good work on the ground to force the referee to intervene with a ground and pound TKO. The gall of the UFC, though, to put this fight together and bring Gall back instead of Mike Perry, who beat him, is just ridiculous. And only a finish will save this booking dumpster fire. Hafez is stretching and tossing around Gall like pasta and putting some added basil on top for good measure. Some pesto sauce, if you will. The only X factor going into this is Hafez off the juice or not? Because he was clearly on the juice against Jack Della Maddalena. Maybe he won't be, but maybe his coaches will, slowly ease him off of the steroids going into this fight. Either way, it's Mickey freaking Gall, and Hafez just has the grappling to do it. I think he's going to shoot the takedown at one point or another, and I just don't think that Gall has the takedown defense to stuff it.
Does Mickey Gall walk out to "Hey Mickey"?
He should come out to "Hey Ricky," the Weird Al version.
All right, fair enough. Our next fight, Phil Rowe. A welterweight contest between Phil Rowe and Jake Matthews. I was on Matthews for the whole time until this fight got booked, or when the fight got booked. I was previewing the card, but I've kind of been swayed. I'm picking Rowe. I think that I think this one is going to end in knockout for either Matthews or Rowe. Both men relatively young. Rowe, 33, Matthews, 29. And it's weird because Matthews, every time he wins, we're like, oh shit, whoa, like he looked great, And then every time he loses, we're like, whoa, what the fuck? What's up with Matthews? Yeah, exactly. So, and he's kind of a victim of just being young, getting a UFC career very young. I think Rowe is going to catch the more reckless Matthews, but I do believe there's a scenario where Matthews has been training and he's just been improving steadily, and he gets the knockout. He is the betting favorite at this point, but Yeah, I'm gonna go Phil Rowe. I'm gonna go knockout, and I'm just gonna pick
Whoa,
third round just to be safe.
that's an interesting one. We got to make a rule though, one of these days, that once your picks are in, your picks are in. We just got to have our results
I'm
against
making my
each.
picks right now.
Durr! Well, you're gonna win every single time because I persuade you not to do the bad picks that you do. It isn't fair. You got to do more
The
research.
bad picks, I've won like every contest,
Yeah,
every
but all
event
the
over
ones
here,
that could
bro.
have
What are you
resulted
talking
in
about?
us having a
What are
tie,
you talking about?
you changed your picks. You changed them mid sentence. You know what you're doing.
I'm making my picks right now, man. I don't know what you're talking about. This is
Well,
slander and lies, and I will see you in court.
well,
You're here from my lawyer. My lawyer, Eric P. Cartman.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's too bad because he's my lawyer too. I'm sure I have his South.
Oh shit. Well, I'll have to hire Jesse
I
Jackson.
got Butters as my lawyer. I have Butters as my lawyer.
Well, you'll definitely lose.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, he's a good businessman, you know. So anyway, I've got Rowe by decision as well. I think Phil Rowe put up a good fight against Neil Magny, which is pretty decent in hindsight with all the prospects that Magny is either beaten up to a decision or finished on the ground. He may not be Magny 2.0, as his mirror image with the man would have you believe, but he does have and reach advantage going into this fight with Jake Matthews. And I think he's decent enough that he can figure out Matthews' holes in his striking. Meanwhile, I don't think Matthews can, given his last couple wins are against Darius Flowers, Andre Fialho, and Diego Sanchez. Once again, Diego Sanchez rears his ugly head. All of his wins have aged like a shrimp, Barbie, bacon in the sun, and gathering ants. I think that Matthews is going to have a tough time against Rose Chin, and he's just going to punch downward and counter Matthews like Waters did against Goff. And that will win
JFK
over 3 rounds. I was trying to do an Australian accent.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
Plus, he has a good clincher in BJJ game that he's accumulated through his experience in grappling tournaments.
Dane, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Bet my one ticket against Hank. Like, he's not gonna go to one in Denver. He's a casual. Come on.
Yeah, I'm a casual, you guys. So much so that I do research 3 days before the fight. So he has a good clinch in BJJ game that he's accumulated through his experience in grappling tournaments. And I don't think Matthews should be a problem on the feet or on the ground.
Yeah,
I think he's going to row down Lake Matthews. And that
he's grappled who? Why are their names escaping me right now?
Grappled Gordon Ryan.
Gordon Ryan and the other one.
Mighty Mouse.
No, what's his name?
Is it Craig something?
Craig Jones. He's
Jones.
grappled both of them in recent years. Lost, but hey, fuck. I mean, and then the split decision to Neil Magny. I mean, to me, that's a great thing to have on your record. Even though it's a loss, you know, obviously a win always is better.
Yeah,
I don't think you can really knock
Superman
him.
always beats Bizarro Superman. So, you know, it was a very close fight. Neither guy really had enough offense for me to be impressed by either of them, but he survived. I can't say the same of Mike Malone.
Yeah, so our next fight is Grant Dawson versus Joe Selecki. Both men coming off of losses. This is a lightweight contest. Joe Selecki he got slammed big time in his last loss, and Bobby Green knocked out Grant Dawson. So a lot of stock has fallen on the previously undefeated in the UFC. Or I believe he was on like a 10-fight win streak or something like that.
Yes, so.
Or unbeaten streak before that loss. So he looked really bad in that loss. Selecki's not a guy who's like gonna knock you out, but I also think that he is being a little bit disrespected in the line. Like Grant Dawson is like one of the biggest favorites on this card. But I am gonna pick Dawson to get it done by decision. I think they both have a similar-ish style, and they're both coming off of bad losses, but Grant Dawson obviously getting or Joe Selecki getting the worst of it, getting head slammed. So, but yeah, I'm picking Dawson. I think this will be a grappler's delight, and Dawson wins the decision.
Well, I know he beats Joe Selecki, but I also know that Grant Dawson loses to Dustin Poirier in a mousetrap match where he gets thrown onto the canvas and there's a bunch of mousetraps everywhere. And then they announced Poirier as the winner, and then it was all a dream. in Poirier's head as he was at a board meeting for Toyo Tires. That was a real UFC ad.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Whoa, yeah, that was. Yeah, that was like a weird CTE fever dream for Dustin Poirier. I think that was a weird look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
Dustin.
I was like, what the fuck is Hank talking about? And then I just remembered that was an actual Toyo Tires ad.
Yeah, they actually spent money on that. I can't believe it. I would spend my life savings on something more important to me.
That is interesting.
Yeah, horrible. I think Dustin Poirier actually probably came up with the idea for that ad, which is even better.
I hope not.
Yeah, and they love Dustin in these ads so much, acting like the CTE guy. They now have him with the Bud Light genie. Let's go, let's go. So it's Dustin's moving on up financially, but he's moving on down mentally. Now we got
happens when you're
Grant
a professional
Dawson.
fighter.
I got him by round 2 submission. Selecki hasn't beaten any good opponents with his grappling yet, whereas Grant Dawson has. Selecki got KO'd by a slam, so he'll be the same Selecki going into this fight with Dawson. No improvements. I mean, how do you learn from that? If he was in a position where he was on bottom against Drakkar Close, I just know that Dawson is going to outdo him in the grappling and get him down. And once Selecki's dealing with the guard of Dawson, it's Dawson's world. La 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 la. Dawson's world. Dawson's going to outmaneuver him. He's going to maneuver his way down around Selecki until he gets either the neck or the back of his opponent, and then it's good night, Irene. Dawson, I think, is also solid on the feet. He's going to outwork Selecki in the stand-up while it lasts until he brilliantly feints enough to where he finds a perfect in for the takedown. He has decent striking, by the way. Underrated striking from Grant Dawson. So it's not like he's going to have any scary stuff happening on the feet. I also think that he latches up the sub and finishes Selecki, since he did that with almost every opponent up until Damir Ismagulov. And I know that Selecki isn't as skilled or as tough as Ismagulov, so it will be Dawson by submission, rear naked choke in the second round. His Bobby Green PTSD will be enough for Grant Dawson to keep this on the ground and finish this on the ground.
I like that breakdown. We're now going to your favorite fighter, Jailton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov.
If I could see Jailton Almeida fighting in Ryzen, I would be truly happy. Like,
really?
That would be utopia. Yeah. To my favorite fighter in my favorite promotion. I mean, what more could a boy ask for?
All right. So obviously Alexander Romanov looked great coming into the UFC. Actually, both these men looked just amazing coming into the UFC. And then they kind of just hit a wall, like a brick wall, like bad.
That's a big, flabby black wall.
And obviously, like, I am picking Jailton Almeida. I'm still like pretty high on him. I think he has great skills. I think he's a great fighter. I don't think he'll be like champ necessarily as we thought he could be when he first came in. But Romanov just gave up on his. I mean, you got a fat guy versus a physical specimen here.
Yeah.
So obviously the pick is Jailton Almeida.
Smart one to make.
Though I do see a path to victory for Romanov. I do see a path to victory for him.
Hitting the blades uppercut.
Not like a KO or anything, but yeah, I just think that Jailton's the guy to pick.
He's that guy.
I don't think it's like a likely path to victory for Romanov.
He is him, Almeida.
Let's go Almeida decision.
I've actually got him by submission, round 1. I wish that Romanov could find the perfect shot and lay Jailton Almeida out stiff. In fact, there are quite a few fighters on this card where I wish that could happen. But unfortunately, Alexander Romanov is just another fat heavyweight who will give up immediately upon getting taken down. I saw it against Volkov, and he crumbled rather easily when someone with actual muscles got a hold of him on the ground. With Almeida, he's just going to fake a shot, topple Romanov over, and then lay on him with all of his lack of might until he eventually finds Romanov's neck and locks in an arm triangle or whatever roid freaks use to end their fights. At least he won't be getting a suntan for a whole 15 minutes. Now Romanov is a decent grappler himself, but of these two men, who has the ability to turn a bottom position over to a top position? It's not, I can't believe it's not butter. I can tell you that much. It's not the butterball. Almeida might deal with the takedown attempt, but I guarantee he will turn that takedown into his own very quickly, and Romanov will have no choice but to accept missionary position and tap. Get them both off of my screen this freaking instant. In fact, put Almeida on the early prelims.
So if Jelton does what you're predicting him to do you gain a little more respect for him, or do you still just hate him with all your heart and soul?
No, I don't, because he used to do that before with the big butterballs like Rosenstruik, and then the guys outside the top 15. That's his MO. But as soon as he goes against a guy who's actually a threat, he just lays on them and doesn't try the submission work at all, or he fails at it. So at a top level, Almeida is the most boring fighter in the MMA to watch.
I mean, Rosenstruik is a top guy though, a heavyweight.
Yeah, against certain guys, he is definitely not. Once he sees an Ngannou and once he sees an Almeida, he's toast. Once he has someone with actual musculature fighting him, he's toast. Gotcha. It's the exact same thing here with Romanov. He's against a roid freak. So
we'll stop infuriating you and we'll go to the next fight on the card. Yeah. Hey, what's up, my man? Euphoric notes. Coming, and the first thing I hear is Butterball in missionary position. What the fuck is that?
Really good timing.
That's Joseph Almeida versus Alexander Romanov for you, man. Our next fight is Roman Kopylov versus Cesar Almeida. This is a fight I've been going back and forth on. I think that this fight ends in a finish, one way or the other.
Why do you have Kopylov by decision?
Because I'm making my picks now, man. I always go through the card like the Sunday before, and I kind of just make my picks just like randomly, the ones I'm confident in. Why is this so frustrating to you?
It's just frustrating because I feel like I have an advantage for 5 seconds, and then it immediately just gets taken away from me.
Well, look, I make my picks like this night. This is where I make my picks. I always make my picks on the Pick'em show.
Here's a rule. You make your decision. You make your pick, and then I get to say what my pick is, and you cannot change it after the fact.
I will not adhere to those
modified changes before I do my breakdown.
I will never.
I'm giving you a cheat code, all right?
Because I even go through the picks like just before the fights, and I go, "Oh, okay, maybe I'll switch mine on this one." So, no, I will never adhere to those rules. You cannot make those rules for me. It's not fair. This is a free country.
Fine. Then I can change mine too, in the moment.
100%, dude. I'm not telling you can't, man. This is where we make our picks.
I've got too much pride to change them, so I'm screwed all the way.
I think this fight ends in a finish, as I just said before. I was rudely interrupted.
I don't know about
you. But man, I think this is a tough fight to pick, and the odds have reflected in that because Kopylov opened as a favorite, and now it has switched to Cesar Almeida as the favorite. I think Kopylov has the striking to be able to hang with Almeida, and again, we just don't know too much about him. You always get these weird, like, kickboxer comes to the UFC, he looks really good. And I also don't think that the fight against Dylan Budka is like, oh, he can defensively grapple like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because Bill Budka was a state or high school wrestler.
He was also apparently once a YouTuber named Dylan Shaken, Big Red, MMA at some point.
Dylan Budka is from Oregon. So I kind of rode with the PNW guy being from Idaho, but yeah. So I can see Cesar getting the finish. I could also see Roman getting the finish. I think this fight is like a coin toss in a way, but I am gonna just go with Kopylov finish, submission or KO. Let's go round 2. I don't think this fight's gonna go super long, but I'll go Kopylov knockout round 2. Who's a bum and why, AJ? Well, let me know. What say you, my friend, as you exhale? Oh, now I see why you exhaled.
Yeah, you know exactly why. For the opponents that Cesar Almeida has fought so far in MMA, I'm really not impressed with his performances. I'm not impressed by his performance. Barely outstrikes Lucas Fernando. Gets wrestle-fucked by Dylan Budka until the hammer fists. So far, the kickboxing version of Almeida hasn't been able to really shine in the cage because there are a lot of ways that you can neutralize his main weapons if you can grapple. If Kopylov's team is worth their salt, they will have trained Kopylov more in grappling before this fight, especially after the Anthony Hernandez fight, which I'm assuming they have. Kopylov got drowned out by Anthony Hernandez, but if we're being honest here, who hasn't? Hernandez is a contender on the rise. Almeida's just getting started, and he doesn't have the grappling acumen to pose a problem for Kopylov. On the feet, he isn't a world beater in the boxing. Not every glory kickboxer is an incredible stand-up guy. Kopylov has been doing MMA for years, and he will know how to properly mix in the striking and grappling, enough to beat Almeida outside of his game and through kicks and body shots in his own game. Kopylov is nasty with the technical shots to the body and combinations. He'll be switching in and out of Almeida's range and hurting him with precise and impactful punches, especially body punches. Eventually, I think that Almeida will slow as well due to the amount of punishment that he takes in the first round, and then I think Kopylov will put him out of his misery with a shot that just crumples him. Kopylov was a gifted striker in everyone's eyes before the Hernandez fight. Why wouldn't he be now?
Yeah.
Almeida's only an inch taller than Kopylov. He won't be that physically intimidating, comparatively speaking. And I think Kopylov's striking is just too crisp and clever for Almeida's to be the kryptonite. And I think his power is a little overrated.
Nice alliteration there.
Thank you. I'm good at it. It was definitely intentional. With all the decisions he's gotten in MMA and kickboxing. Kopylov is now a guy who puts you away, and it will be the same here. Give me the pride of the Askren Hooper clan to finish this one with relative ease. I will admit this is a very close fight on paper. Thanks, Anthony. But looking at both men's abilities, it's clear which one I should pick.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And I do agree with Granite that Fluffy is a savage, and I think that Kopylov just kind of met his match when he ran into Fluffy. And it sucks for Fluffy because he always gets a good win, gets booked into a good fight, and then gets injured and has to pull out. But
He'll be
we move on.
4 years, you guys.
We move on to our next fight: Randy Brown versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. I picked Elizeu Zaleski to win this fight all week. And then I kind of got swayed into picking Randy Brown. I actually have parlays. I have a couple different parlays, and Randy Brown and Zaleski are in both of them. So same with Almeida and Kopylov. So I really don't know. I think this is another coin flip. Randy Brown is a guy that I just not have been impressed by. KOing an old washed King of Kung Fu Muslim Salikov doesn't do it for me, And I knew Randy Brown was going to knock him out. I knew it. The taller guy versus Zaleski, the savage but older guy. Man, this one is so hard for me to pick. I want to pick Zaleski, but I don't know. Something tells me this fight, I feel like it'll end in a knockout, but often when I overrate and underrate a guy, the fight goes to decision. So, though Grant Gregory says Randy Brown is a bum.
Don't trust him. Don't trust him, Idaho. He's an AI.
He's
getting locked up in the basement somewhere.
I am gonna go Randy Brown by decision. I'm not married to it. I may flip flop on that, but man, I really don't know what's gonna happen in this fight. And it is at welterweight. Zaleski is 37, so we could see some drop off from him. But I would say he is the more explosive guy. But I think if I'm gonna go with a decision, I think Randy Brown wins 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So what say you, my friend?
I am thinking the same, Gene. Brown is taller, rangier, and younger than Elizeu Zaleski, and I think is just entering his prime at the moment in terms of his and his stand-up. He's quite good at getting in and out of the pocket, picking his shots well, and moving fast enough that his opponents usually don't see his attacks coming. Zaleski, meanwhile, is a very tough individual and has found a way to survive the onslaughts of his opponents. He's pushed the pace and gets the fights to close enough decisions for split wins or draws. But Brown's frame, his speed, and I think his style is just one that's way too overwhelming for someone with Zaleski's age and fighting style over 3 rounds. Plus, he got dropped by Renat frickin' Fakhretdinov. How do you not get dropped by a grappler? If that's his history, then I see Randy Brown also dropping Zaleski with a shot, not finishing him, but winning rounds through big strikes. That leads to Brown winning at least 2 out of the 3 rounds, capping off a big win in impressive fashion. I think that pesky Zaleski is tough as a $2 steak, but Brown's speed is enough to pay dividends and give him a huge advantage here. So I'm going to pick Randy Brown by decision. Izalusi will hold the football for Randy Brown, but this time he's kicking it into the stratosphere. Good job, Blockhead.
Our next fight is Nico Price versus Alex Morono. Two guys who just haven't really delivered. We don't know where they're at necessarily in their careers. Morono looked good coming into the UFC. Nico Price has been very up and down, and mostly down. Getting knocked out by Robbie Lawler in a fight that I think probably could have been fixed because of the way he fell. Like, that was a weird knockout, man. And they had the whole
staged, man. It's staged.
Yeah, I mean, it was
totally
strange.
just a video montage at the end. They
Right, I was gonna get into that, but I don't know. I obviously, oh, this is a rematch. Interesting. It says 2.
Also, the CIA killed Kennedy.
Who won the last fight?
What?
Who won their last fight?
Morono won his last fight.
Again, no. This is a rematch.
Oh, I have no idea. It
says right there.
I don't care because I love my boy.
Sure, yeah. I don't think it really matters either way. Beating Alex Oliveira 2 years ago, a guy who has been washed out of the UFC, a really credible opponent, if you ask me. But Grant Gregory says, bet the house on Morono. Price is down and down. He can only beat cans. I like the guy. Yeah, like, again, I mean, I'm probably taking too long in this breakdown, but
yeah, I mean, for Price versus Morono, anything 5 seconds is too much.
Sure, yeah, and it's like obviously Morono, but hey, man, I don't think that Nico Price can be counted out in a super big way. So that's why I'm gonna go decision. I'm not sure if Morono knocks him out, but yeah, give me Morono. UD.
Give me Morono. Give it to me. If Nico Price getting knocked out against Robbie Lawler within a couple minutes, there's no way his fight against Morono will be competitive. Morono has held his own against Joaquin Buckley, which is now impressive in hindsight. And even though he didn't look good against Court McGee, he still pulled through to win the fight, which I can't say Nico would be able to do the way he swings at air and shows zero technique in his punches. The more skilled and technical fighter almost always prevails when it's a stand-up contest, unless you have a million times more power. And Price has none. He can't even. There is no price for power for Nico. And I think with Morono's consistency and experience he's had in his last couple of recent fights, he'll have the tools to beat up Price to a decision. Again, he has no punching power to get a finish. Nico's paying the price for pressing the self-destruct button on his chin. And that was more than 5 seconds, so I failed.
The one thing I'll give Nico Price is that he has like 7 kids, and maybe the will.
Gotta feed those kids, man.
Yeah, maybe the will of all the children will.
Yeah, he's gonna pull Heath Slater. He's got kids to feed.
So, yeah, we move on to our next fight. Kevin Holland.
Kids are gonna be hungry, man. They're off to the orphanage.
Kevin Holland versus Michael Oleksiejczuk. It's another fight that I'm just not sure. Depending on which Kevin Holland and which Michael Oleksiejczuk show up, I see a path to victory for either guy. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking like a straight up, again, just like I talked about when we first started the stream, it's like a straight up kickboxing match. Glory rules.
Yeah.
Kevin Holland wins, but I mean,
and he'd probably want that rule set since the one.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. He's got good grappling. I think that Kevin Holland by submission is like a sneaky pick for this card or for this fight. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think this fight goes to split, and it could go either way. It's a coin flip in my opinion. But again, we could see a bruising Michael Oleksiejczuk, making Kevin Holland look bad in the first round. Right, and then I think Kevin Holland will start to take the fight over as the rounds progress. But I love Kevin Holland, man. I've always been a fan of the guy. He takes a fight anywhere, any place, anytime, whatever. But I'm gonna have to go Holland. And again, when I overrate and underrate a guy, I think it generally goes to decision. I have way too many decisions on this card. But I am gonna pick Kevin Holland by decision.
But Idaho, he's not a female fighter, so I don't think he's gonna.
I want to read Grant Gregory's comment here. Kevin Holland is one of my favorite fighters. He has lost every
No, he's
fight
one
I
of his
picked him to win,
he's
and
one of his
vice versa. When Holland fights, no matter the opponent, flip a coin, you will be wrong 10 out of 9 times. Yeah, for sure.
Mr.
You just
Brand.
never know which one's going to show up.
Yeah.
The only saving grace here is that it is at middleweight, and I do believe that again, just like with Michelle Pereira, when welterweights move up to middleweight, they have more success. I don't know if that's actually the case if you comb through Kevin Holland's record, but yeah, what say you, my friend?
Finally, I have an opportunity to get an advantage in this betting competition. Mikal doesn't have it anymore, and we now know what his major weaknesses are after his fights with Chitty and with Michelle. Body shots and grappling on the ground. Kevin Holland has both of those attributes in spades, and again, same story with Randy Brown. He's taller, he has a bigger reach, and he's younger than Mikal, so therefore faster. Even if it's after moving up a weight class, we have to keep in mind that he is a welterweight moving up, and Mikal is a light heavyweight moving down. Both are natural fits for Kevin, middleweight and welterweight. I think he's going to look slick against Mikal, who throws big, heavy hands but doesn't have the timing for them to really land. Plus, the dude lost in the stand-up to Chidi Njokuani, who, if you've seen his last fight, fought like a complete spaz, throwing with very little technique, if he was even throwing at all. That win has aged like half-eaten yogurt with the state of Chidi right now. So if freaking old-ass Chidi can give Mikal troubles, then I know that Kevin's going to crack him at one point or another. And then once things get to the ground, I think it's just going to be game over. No Wonder Boy rules this time. And Kevin will either batter Mikal or lock in an arm triangle for the win. Holland is very underrated groundwork, and his last name is Holland, which should strike fear into the Polish fighter.
And he's a Travis Lutter black belt, too.
The entire country of Holland for the win.
Yeah, that knockout of Jacare, man. Oh my gosh, dude. That was like one of the most violent things I think I've ever seen in my life. That was amazing.
He can finish his opponents from everywhere. He's the new Suzuki.
All right, we move up the card to a fight I am just so excited to see. I had Paulo Costa. Again, I had Paulo Costa all week. And then, again, like nobody that I listen to that makes picks, podcasting-wise. I have not heard Grandit's podcast. Go sub to his channel. Check out his channel. He does a few podcasts a week. But everyone's picking Strickland. I guess I have to pick Strickland, right? Because he's the more likely to win, especially over 5 rounds, which I found out this was a 5-round fight after I made my bets. Yeah, smart man me. But I really, really feel like Paulo Costa is going to come through and he's going to win this fight. I don't know why. And I think if you're picking Paulo Costa to win, you have to pick him to win by knockout. Because I think that's probably the only way he's going to win. It's going to be in the earlier rounds. Gosh, I really don't want to lock this in.
He's got the secret juice, you know.
I really want to lock in Strickland by decision. That was my pick just before we started talking about this fight. But
yeah,
I just have this weird feeling in my gut that Paulo's going to win. But I feel like just to be safe, I should go Strickland decision. I'm kind of back and forth on
this.
Those
are the bad voices in your head. Those are the bad.
I think maybe I'll wait for Hank to give his analysis before I make my pick.
Damn you! Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna pick. Look at that beautiful image of Sean Strickland right there. That white European on the right. Here he is. Here's the fucking thing, you guys. Paulo Costa's a one-trick pony. And as Sean said in his pre-fight interview and press conference appearances, he's no good in terms of just technical boxing and traditional stand-up. But if he hits you with a high kick or a spinning kick, he can very quickly discombobulate you. Sean knows this, so his iCarly guard won't allow one of those big kicks to land like it did on Whitaker, who I think is actually more static and predictable of a fighter than Strickland is. If Sean treats Costa's offense like he did Izzy's, this will be an easy fight for Strickland. I know big, powerful fighters often give Strickland troubles, but Costa has way less technique than Dricus du Plessis does, and that's saying something. Costa's going to leave himself open to punches and bunches, and if Sean is trained more to counter quickly, like his coaches should train him after the DDP fight, he's going to tag Costa coming in and probably wobble him at some point. Plus, Paulo might have staff on his foot. which will probably sap his energy by the later rounds. He usually gets his energy sapped from him later in the later rounds anyway, maybe even round 2. And by that point, I think Sean's going to beat him up. I just can't see Costa being KO'd by Sean. So for that reason, I have Sean by decision. But who knows? We might see a finish. Here's the fucking thing about Paulo Costa, you guys. Costa's a real American meme lord. Guy knows more about this country than all my degenerate fans. If he beats me tonight, he gets a green card. And if I win, Brazil gives me an unlimited supply of beer, steak, and guns. Let's fucking go! I'm gonna fucking bleed in there. I'm gonna lose brain cells like a man. I'm gonna do the man dance. I'm gonna do it for you guys. I'm gonna do it for you guys.
So the only like real thing about Costa in this fight is that it's like one of his quickest turnarounds since 2015 or 2016. I think that'll help him. I think he just needs to be active, man. And I think, I don't know, dude. Obviously, like on paper, looking at the records, like Costa loses this fight. But again, man, I just have this feeling that he gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't KO him, again, that's like his only way to really win is to knock out Sean Strickland. Over 5 rounds, you got to pick Sean Strickland. So we move up the card to a fight. And this card actually has been surprisingly easy to break down.
You know, I think that I think Perez has been whispering in Costa's ears, "Stop pulling out of fights. Don't be a pullout."
He says that. Yeah. Note says your Sean is a lot better than your Moicano. Well, I mean, he is a white guy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. Here's the thing about.
Okay, no. We don't need more Sean.
He's a silly goose, you guys. I mean, when you got a goose as your profile pic, that says something about your sexuality, you guys. Your sexual preference. This guy's a goose. He ain't no man. I'm not on a fucking golf course killing geese, you guys.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about
fight,
you guys.
Islam Makhachev.
Mm-hmm.
Hank.
Makhachev. Machete.
Not Makachev. Okay? Just letting you know. Okay. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin the Diamond Poirier. I mean, what can really be said about this fight? Islam Makhachev not having a signature win over a lightweight. Obviously, Charles, your favorite fighter ever? It seems like you have like 10 favorite fighters of all time.
Yeah, I do. They're all number 1, so you're gonna have to keep guessing them.
So, I mean, like obviously, Islam wins this fight. Just if you just look at it on paper. But I think that this booking is really strange. I don't know why. This is like a really one-sided match, man, and I think Islam probably gets it done. I have 4th round submission up there. I do see a world where this goes to decision. Like Poirier hangs in there, and he just
if that's the case, then Makhachev's losing.
You think he loses a 5-round fight to?
Yeah, if he's not worth his salt to finish Dustin Poirier within 2 rounds, he's gonna get cracked like Volkanovski did him in.
Okay. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I can see a path of victory for Dustin in the feet, but like honestly, I don't think he knocks out Islam, but I really don't know, man. And I'm being interrogated here. 4th round, interesting. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think he subs Dustin in the later rounds. Going 4th.
He knocks him down before he does that.
I really don't know how this fight goes, exactly how it looks, but I just know that Islam most likely wins. And man, I really, again, I think it's like lightweight's boring. I mean, obviously it's the best division, like in the sport.
Yeah, and only the best can be boring.
The deepest, but it's just whack at the title picture because Khabib drops the title, and then Islam, his longtime friend and training partner, takes the title over. So it's like we've just had like the same guy.
It's only been Khabib and then Islam. There was nobody in between there.
Right. It's just like the same guy has been the champ for like a minute, So it's whack. I would love to see Dustin pull it off and come through. I think everybody would, right? Because you see a lot of hate for Islam,
except for JL.
Yeah, man. What's your breakdown on this one, my friend?
So you're. Oh wait, hold on. I
Already
gotta.
typing.
I gotta control V my backpack emojis. It's not complete without them.
Gotcha.
So even with potential staff, even
Ooh,
with
Grant Gregory says he hates Dustin Poirier. Let's go.
there you go. So I think his hate boner is going to be ripe after this fight. He's going to be feeling good the rest of the week. Even with the potential staff, even with Dustin winning every fight he's had in June, even with the Costa curse, I can't see Mahashev losing this fight.
Nice.
Are you proud of me, Idaho? Are you proud of me?
I'm proud.
Thank you, Papa. His takedowns are just too good. Poirier has too square of hips. Mahashev.
Hold on. What is the reason? I want to know. What did Islam do to you? Did he like not sign an autograph? Did he? I want to hear this story. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. I'd actually give a potential explanation. Like
Okay,
I
go
just
ahead.
in the chat, Dustin Poirier is a sore winner. He's won a bunch of fights.
He is a fucking
even,
sore ass.
even complained after the fact. Oh, he raked my
Hey,
eyes.
Everly, what's
He
up?
touched my gloves. He's a dirty cheater.
I mean, dude, that fight was super dirty though from Chandler.
Yeah, but I won. But I need to wipe my tears with my dollar bills I just made. It's too much for me. I've only won 1,000,000 fights and have a big mansion and a hot ass wife. Jolie's wife. Jolie's wife. But yeah, Poirier's actually become a little humble as of late. But before that, he was just a salty bitch in victory and in defeat. So anyway, I can't see Mahashev losing this fight. His takedowns are just too good. Poirier has square hips. Mahashev promises to take Poirier down, and if a Dagestani promises to take an opponent down, he's making good on that promise. And even on the feet, Mahashev's sambo is solid enough that he can box with Poirier without getting knocked down or knocked out. The Diamond always has that one lucky shot, but even if he lands it, Islam's instinct will be to shoot. And he almost got Volk down after getting cracked in round freaking 5. Plus, Islam looks good. The weight cut doesn't look too bad. And Poirier is a great matchup for him stylistically, regardless of the condition he is or isn't in. I'll give Poirier a chance and say that he survives the first round, but he doesn't survive the second and is getting submitted the same way he lost every title fight he's had, a failed guillotine or failed stuffing of the takedown, backpack rear naked choke, just like that. Blah, 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 blah. Islam will pull through whatever ailment he has, which is probably just honestly a bruise from bumping his leg into something or getting kicked. He's a Dagestani, and they just push through everything without a mark on them and eventually find Poirier's back, rear naked choke. Even if Dustin pulls the guillotine, Islam's head will just pop out because at that high level of MMA, you're a schmuck if you don't fight through and use the proper technique to escape the guillotine. I'm sorry. We saw that with Arman Sarukian and with Charles Oliveira. He just moved the legs a little, found the space, and popped his head right out. And Islam would be a fool if he wasn't able to do the exact same thing. So yeah, I don't give Poirier that big a chance. As much as I'd like the Diamond to chop off the inbred's head and wear his diamond crown, off with his head! It's not happening. And we should all see this result coming, even JL. Who knows, though? Maybe that comment about Islam's mother will get to him, and he'll just swing like a madman before getting flatlined.
So, Grant Gregory says Dustin Poirier ruined his friend's career. He need a guy on the ground in his head. Kicked a bunch of training partners when he is doing boxing practice. He's a bitter, jealous man, and yes, a sore winner. So, looks like the rumors that Colby Covington laid down are
absolutely 100% accurate according to Grant Gregory's AI.
And Isha complimenting my beard. Thanks, man. I need to shave. I'm getting scruffy. And my man Weedy Gonzalez. Enters the chat. Weedy, I want to know your picks on the boxing card, man. Drop them in there real quick. Yeah.
Who's been painting my roses red?
And again, it's like
someone will lose blood.
I don't see like it's very unlikely, and that's reflected in the odds that Dustin wins this. Though I do have some bets on him. Not a lot of money, just like dollar bets here and there.
Hey, it's Weedy Gonzalez, Holmes.
I have $1 on Dustin to win by guillotine.
Nice.
So
wow.
But yeah, man.
That's big time. MMA gods will allow it.
I don't understand like why he looks so lost on the ground against a high level grappler, right? Like he just looks like he almost looks like his eyes like get wide and he starts looking at his corner. It's like so weird that
How
he.
much time do I have left?
Yeah, like what do I do? Like tell me what I do. Okay. He
Speaking
said
of
Zhang, Bivol,
Islam
Williams,
Makhachev
and
against
Ford. I can't
Volkanovski.
remember the
How much
first
time,
fight.
brother? How much time do I have on the clock? Oh my
The
god.
first fight is Hutchins versus Richards, Weedy. But yeah, he's got Zhang, Bivol, Austin Williams.
You can watch the stream after the fact. We made our boxing picks there.
Yeah, we already went through the boxing card.
Or time travel and go
Yeah,
back.
and Amberly says he's still rooting for him. I get you, man. I get you, Amberly. And it's just I would love to see it happen, just because of the staticness of lightweight. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot to talk to. Like, this is a quick show. We've only gone an hour and 20. Usually we go 2 hours
This is a
solid.
record for us.
But
Quick, end the stream now. We need
there's going to be a lot to talk about on Sunday. Once.
Oh, and by the way, Khabib is in Islam's corner, so he's definitely fucked because Khabib is still. Hey, what are you doing? Just shoot the takedown. No, don't do that.
I love Khabib in the corner. He gets so like crazy when his guys fight. Yeah. What are you doing? And he like shakes dudes. I love it. Yeah, man. I mean, I really don't have much more to say about this card. What about you, my friend?
It says predictable as UFC 301. That's all I'll say. This is a pretty easy card to predict. So much so that Idaho and I only had one fight that we disagreed on. And you know, I think we only had one fight we disagreed on with either a fight night or UFC 301. So it's on that level where if you're worth your salt and you do your research, you know which styles benefit which fighters. So, you know, this one isn't too bad. I'm glad we didn't disagree on too many fights. So my blood pressure's
again
low come Saturday. I'm going to be at a friend's house enjoying a little graduation party. So
okay,
I'm going to miss a little bit of it, but I'll definitely watch the highlights and be home for the main event.
Gotcha. Cool, man. You know, though this card is easy to pick and just like a lot of the cards have been, there's always something that happens that you were not expecting and you didn't see coming. I'll just say that. Happens every card, every single time, man. So looking forward to the fights.
So if that's the case, who's the Anthony Smith of this card?
Again, I'm going Paulo, but
don't be silly. Jump the gilly. That's the advice for Paulo.
Well, let me go through some of these comments. Weedy giving me shit.
Guys.
Weedy giving me shit for living in Idaho. He says, I just found out it's a lot of damn Mexicans in Idaho because of agriculture and stuff. And Skate, I apologize. No need to apologize, man. Hey, though there is like some pockets of Mexicans, it is mostly white people here.
Hey, no problem.
Oregon, Washington, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho, straight up just white people land. When I went to New Mexico this year, every single person I encountered looked exactly like me. So that was really interesting. Italian, Khabib as Sean Strickland as Moicano. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, two impressions.
Grant Gregory says, "Here's the thing, you guys. You guys had a good one, like a man. Sub. Hell yeah, thank you, Grant Gregory. Your support means a lot, man. And Isha, thank you for sending homies over to here." He says, note says, will there be eye poke tomorrow with the new gloves? Probably. You know what?
Then they'll get rid of the gloves right away.
I'm saying it right now. 100% there will be an eye poke. Those new gloves don't mean shit.
Can you imagine if there are more eye pokes in this card?
That would be awesome.
Or Trevor Whitman is just
oh my gosh. Yeah, Trevor Whitman's like, come on, guys. Like, I gave you guys the gloves. Thank you, Grant Gregory. Yeah, those new gloves are stupid. Yeah. They look stupid. I don't know.
I don't like the gold color.
Me neither, dude. It's stupid. They should have went with the white, like Bellator. I don't know, dude. I like those white gloves.
Here's the thing about the golden gloves, you guys. It's just another sign that the elites are taking over our businesses and keeping women out of the households. And so we need to just get rid of the gloves, you guys. And you use some leather gloves or no gloves at all. I'm going to bare knuckle, you guys, and I'm fighting like a man. I'm going to give him a knuckle sandwich and do the man dance. Let me tell you guys, there's nothing but a bunch of degenerates in the chat. This is a sign that America's on the decline. We've built that wall, man. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, this podcast does not second the opinions of Sean Strickland. Amberly says the new gloves look femme.
Mhm.
Oh, Isha, I thought you were just okay. Yeah, KSW has white gloves with gold KSW print for the champ. Yeah, like that's badass. I love the white gloves. Those things are. I mean, they really
White's
should
always
just let.
right, you guys. White's always right.
They really should just let fighters do whatever they want and walk out however they want and wear whatever they want. Within regulation. But
Yeah,
it's a UFC. I've often been called the no fun guy, but Dana White really is the no fun guy. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Hey, Isha's in agreement with Sean Strickland. All right, I think we can all agree. And fuck the Maple Leafs too. Hey,
And AJ likes the
putting
gloves.
it out
All right,
there.
man. Well, you know what?
On my own accord, it's my own opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
it's almost been an hour and a half, man. We give you guys 2 podcasts a week.
Yeah, we're lightning quick this time around.
We were off last week. There wasn't much to talk about, but we do other shit. We do every once in a while we'll give you a fight review, or we'll go through a robbery that we disagree on, and we're gonna have a draft coming up, BKFC draft, 165 draft.
Boom.
So be on the lookout for that shit. Thank you guys for your support and subs. Hank, do you have anything else to say to the people?
Enjoy the extra hour of sleep, you guys, because this podcast has broken a record. So we will allow you not to be insomniacs tonight, but you're freaking lucky that tonight, all right? It's going to be a 3-hour stream next time. And then you guys are going to have your eyes wide open like in the Clockwork Orange when they got the tweezers on his eyes. You'll have no choice but to watch us for 3 hours, breaking your backs, putting in 100%.
The work. All right, guys, we're out of here. Take it easy. Enjoy the fights. And, hey, listen, MMA is supposed to be fun. All right, don't forget that.
I thought it was supposed to be painful and just make you cry.
It's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to have fun, and let's all have fun. Let's check it out. Check out Isha's stream. He's about to do Deep tonight. I may catch that. Probably not, but I want to be a fan of Japanese MMA, but hey, and Weedy, good luck on your Fallout endeavor, and we're out of here. Peace.
You have survived the war zone for now.